good friend and co-trainer, Coach William Lee, and we kind of grew up together in the boxing world. We've known each other for 21 years. Muncie Pal Club in Muncie, Indiana. So Coach William, give me a little bit of a reason about your why to box.
I grew up in a very bad end of Muncie, Indiana. And being in those bad neighborhoods, I was always getting in fights on my way from school. And my mother was like, you can fight and you do well. You really need to know what you're doing. So my mom, she took me down the street, which the Pal Club was like right around the corner from my house. And was like, eventually I went into boxing at the Pal Club. It was just right around the corner from my home.
My mom was a big inspiration for me too. They're kind of like care partners back then,
Yeah.
you know, pushing us. I had a lot of emotional issues from some tragedies and became somewhat violent, and my mom bought me a heavy bag, and it was very emotional. So what kept you going?
Well, what brought me back to the gym every day? It was the sport itself. It was the hardest thing that I had ever encountered. It took everything within my mental, my physical. I had to devote the whole me into some of the things that I was doing in order for me to be successful. And I felt in some way that brought about more control within myself. And that's why I fell so deeply in love with the boxing.
I've done a lot of sports in my life, but found myself in an emotional state again when I was in college, and boxing did the same thing for me. It was so complex, challenged my mental, my physical, and my emotional being. And then it kept me focused.
Yes.
One of the other things that kept me coming back to the gym every day was our team. Didn't we just have an awesome team?
We had an awesome team, and it was like, that was another thing that helped me also. You know, our team was like a family. We watched each other in in the worst times and the best times, and we stood by each other no matter what time we were going through. And I love that. I love having that type of relationship with people that were outside of the home. You know, it was like a home away from home.
Yeah, I think at times it felt so difficult, so impossible to get through the workouts. But it was the family, it was the camaraderie, it was the folks, the rest of the people in the gym I felt accountable to show up for.
Yeah.
And my coach, our coach drove us. He was It was tough love all the way, but he got us through things that we would have never been able to do on our own.
Our coach actually showed a male support that I hadn't had at home. I grew up in a single parent home, just my mom's. But I didn't have anybody that would get on me about sports and about something that I was committed to. Coach was like that missing link that I needed in order for me to fulfill that emptiness within myself.
He was probably one of the biggest reasons I got through school and believed in myself, because he believed in me. There's so many variables about what we went through that transcend into what we do at Rocksteady. The same emotions, the same feelings, the same camaraderie we see with these boxers, and I think that's incredible. And I don't think that people outside the boxing world realize that 95% of the work that we do to prepare for the fights has nothing to do with combat. It's what you do on the road, it's what you do behind the scenes, it's how you challenge your body that makes you a whole fighter. And we see the same thing unfolding in the Rocksteady program.
Yeah, I've recognized that myself. The fight that we fight is more mental and spiritual before it becomes physical. Once you start to strengthen that spiritual person, and you start to strengthen yourself mentally, and I've recognized it in Rocksteady itself. We were able to pass on what we learned and how we developed ourselves within the boxing to be able to pass on what has been given to me as a young boxer to help others in their situation at Rocksteady.
So even though we came from a grungy boxing gym in Muncie, Indiana, and we're championship fighters, we see in you guys championship fighters. Every day when you walk through the doors, no matter how you're feeling that day, you show up because you know it's what you need, and you show up for your peers. You guys are fighters. we're fighters, and we have that in common. And we recognize the struggles that we went through and what you're going through. Our fight, our competition became other fighters. Your fight, your competition is Parkinson's disease, and we are so proud of you guys.
Fight on.
But the man's in trouble. I'm gonna show you how great